Hey, Danielle, how are you? What you doing up? Thank you for joining me. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you are here. Hello, everyone. Let me know where you are and place in the comment section where you are. Hello there. How are you? Thank you for joining me. Hello there, Beto. How are you? Thank you for joining me on today. I'm so glad you are here. We're going to talk about an awesome topic tonight. Hey, Veronica, how are you? Thank you for joining me on today. I'm excited about you all being here. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to your feedback and for you all joining me on today. Some of you that are on Clubhouse, join me on Clubhouse. Thank you so much for joining me on today. Veronica said, I'm doing okay with the help of the Lord. That's the only way we can do it, baby. Absolutely. With his help, we can do anything, especially those of us have come through narcissistic abuse. And some of you have been away from the abuser a long time and you're still suffering the after effects because there's a lot of after effects when you're coming after a narcissist abuse. Thank you so much. She's in Florida, tropical storm weather. Ooh, soupy and windy. Oh, I see. Thank you so much. She said my volume is pretty low. How many of you are experiencing low volume with me? Are you experiencing low volume with me? If the volume is low, say yes. If the volume is low, say yes. She said, can you raise the volume? I did. Is that better? Is that better? Hopefully that's better for it. Yes, thank you so much. I raised it all the way to the top, so hopefully I'm talking loud enough and that you can hear me. Thank you, Veronica, for letting me know that. Hello there. She said, yes, good, good, good. You know, long-term abuse, the after effects of what the narcissist has done, the damage. Most of you that went through that know that after you get out of the relationship, you still have a lot of tremendous work that you have to do to restore, rebuild, regain some things that you lost. She said, I live in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Ooh, how is the weather there? Okay, good, good. Danielle said the volume is good now. I am so happy. I want you all to join me and let's talk about the mind games that the narcissists play. Some of you that are out of a relationship are still getting past the retention of when you were in the relationship. You are loosening your mind from that grip, from those words, from the ideology of the narcissist. And you had to curtail your belief system to rebuild because everything that you were was jeopardized by the narcissist. Hello there, paging nurse. How are you? She said, thank you so much. Let's read that. She said, thank you so much for your wonderful advice. She said, yesterday I had a dream that the narcissist was trying to have me sign marriage certificate. She said, but even in my dream, I stood up for myself and said no. Now, are you still with the narcissist or are you away from the narcissist, paging nurse Rose? Are you away from the narcissist now? Are you away from the narcissist, paging nurse Rose, or are you still with the narcissist? You know, many people have dreams about the narcissist because they're indebted into their subconscious. She said, no, it has been 14 years. See, that's what I'm talking about, that after effect. And Veronica said, oh, they play games. She said, all of this time, she said, and they try to turn your child against you. Absolutely. Absolutely. It is horrible. Yes, I know. That's why you have to have a good lawyer. She said, I even moved away. Sometimes that's the best thing where they cannot find you. And you have to sometimes come off of social media. You don't respond or change your number. If you have a child, that may be difficult because the courts may do co-parenting and draw up a parenting plan where there has to be contact and communication because of that child, unless there's restricted rights. If they're restricted right with the parents, then you are not obligated, only obligated to what you all agreed with the courts. 14 years, paging nurse, is a long time. And how long were you with the narcissist? Paging nurse, how long were you with the narcissist? 14 years away, and you are still dreaming. And see, sometimes what you got to do, you have to go after that, and you have to totally clear that mindset. But based on the amount of time that you was with the narcissist, that's the time it takes for the recovery zone. She said, we were never married, and he married someone else. In the dream, he was trying to have me to agree that my name should be there. And I said, no, absolutely. We were together for 3 years. See, 3 years and 14 years later, you're still dealing with the after effects. If there's anything that I can emphasize to anyone, and that is the cost of a narcissistic relationship. And the long-term relationship costs even more because there's an intertwining of the concept of what the narcissists believe you should be and the inscription that they put on your mind. The inscription is when the narcissists want to rewrite your mind. They almost want to create a Frankenstein, a total obedient person to them. And that still does not satisfy the narcissist, because the narcissist, it doesn't matter what you do, you're going to be guilty of violating narcissistic codes. And you don't know what that is because the boundaries are constantly changing. And so what the narcissist does in the beginning is start playing mind games. And the narcissist with the love bombing win your trust over. And that will be the best display of human character that you will ever see with the narcissist. And none of it is genuine. None of it is real. All of it is a mask that's waiting to fall off. She said, I've been dealing with this demon for over 16 years because of my son with him. And he is 15 years old now. I can only imagine. So, Veronica, are you co-parenting according to the parenting law of the court? Veronica said all of it is fake. It is. You know, I did on Clubhouse. I never knew them. With the narcissists, you never know them. Why? Because they're constantly changing, and the image of what they perceive is themselves is a mirror of who they've been with, a mirror of who they attached to, the mirror of assumption. So just when you think you know them, you can tell something has shifted with them. And a lot of times narcissists tell off on themselves, especially with serial cheating. That's why one of the things that they play games with, and a mind game that they play, is to win your level of confidence. They would do anything in the beginning, almost anything and everything to win you over. And the thing about a narcissist, unlike a regular relationship, you know how you can hit it off with a person where you and that narcissist just hit it off. I mean, it's just, y'all just mesh. It seemed like I've never met a person where the chemistry works so good. That's what you're thinking. And we are just congruent. We mesh together. We're co-joined. I felt like I've known them for years, and you just met him yesterday. You just met her yesterday. And that's the way. And I did a video on the power of persuasion. Go back to that video. And those of you that are on, make sure you've already subscribed to my channel. And every time I upload, every time I get a chance to do a live, I love doing live. And sometimes my schedule don't permit that. So I'm trying to do more videos and stay in the circuit. And you can always comment. You can always email me. Email me at destinyhelper12s@gmail.com, and you can tell me of some things that are going on. If you want a session with me, you can email me and let me know about that. Yeah, there you go. Like, share, and subscribe. Veronica says, I have a co-parenting because of the courts. She said, the courts is not fair. No, they're not. She said, and the court doesn't realize that the child father is a narcissist. No, they do not. It's not automatically. The court turned my son over to a narcissist because he makes a lot of money. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why a good lawyer is of the utmost importance when you're dealing with a narcissist, because the narcissists get a lawyer like themselves. They don't care. The lawyer would do anything not for the betterment of the child, not for the good of the family, but the narcissist is working for, the lawyer is working for that narcissist. And a lot of time a narcissist will look for a lawyer like themselves with some of the same qualities, and that lawyer go after your jugular. And whatever works for the narcissist, whether it's the good of the child, whether it's going to benefit the child or not, they want to win at any cost. Even if the narcissist don't really want the child, and they end up getting custody of the child and turning the child over to an aunt, a mother, a father, their parent, just so they get them away from you, because the narcissist's happiness is to see you miserable. And so the narcissist's mind game is to strip you of confidence, because if they strip you of confidence, they're miserable and they want you miserable. Veronica said, I couldn't afford a good lawyer and I lost my son. The lawyer is an evil narcissist too. See, that's exactly what I was saying. A lot of time a narcissist look for a narcissist lawyer. Why? Because they're going to go for the jugular. They don't have any emotional carings. They have a problem with empathy, and the empathy they have is fictitious. It's not real caring, genuine consideration and love for that child. There is no love. The narcissist is there to win, because a narcissist hate to lose and a narcissist hate to be second rate. You know, Veronica, we're going to make sure that we pray for you even in the interlude of what has already happened. It is not over. And so do you have, you see your child? So how is the visitation, Veronica, with you and the child? How is the visitation with you and the child? Nurse Rose, tell me some of the games that you notice that the narcissists play. Some of the games that you notice the narcissists play, because narcissists are all about mind games. Why? They're all about the win. They are all about the win. It doesn't matter as long as they win. She said the lawyer was a straight demon. She said, and they told all kind of lies. Remember, that lawyer does not work for you. That lawyer does not care for you. Everything that that lawyer is concerned about is your husband, your ex-husband. He only cares about the win of your ex-husband, and he doesn't care how much damage he does. He wants that victory report on his record that he won, because the many cases he win, it bump him up in the realm of a divorce lawyer. She said, and the judge believed him. Yeah, I know the judge was convinced by the lawyer, and it's unfortunate that you didn't have a lawyer that can fight a narcissist, and then he had a narcissist lawyer. That's why you have to get someone that is abreast with a narcissist. She said, oh my, plenty of games. For example, he would stand me up on my birthday and then cry. You know, once again, I did a video on the holidays and the important days when it counts, that it doesn't matter to the narcissist. The narcissist will purposefully take special days, special times you should be elated, promotion time, and they will make sure you are at your lowest. And then the crying is superficial. It's pseudo. They really don't care about it. They want to make sure they get in, especially when you're the primary supply. Because if they're serial cheating, a lot of time the primary supply, secondary supply, third, fourth, fifth level, however category they have the supply in. The primary supply, which get most of the time with the narcissist, pays the heavier price with the narcissist because the narcissist spend more time with them and they make that supply pay the price. Why? Because they got to stay in control because there's less buffer with that supply and there's more time with that supply. And the narcissist does everything to protect their emotions from the supply so the supply won't ever gain the upper hand. She said, I can't believe what my narcissist trait husband said yesterday. What did he say, Chris? Yeah, thank you, new subscriber. She said, will these narcissists ever suffer? Of course, they're suffering now. They're suffering now. If they wasn't suffering, they would treat you like they are. They would treat you beautiful and love you. The reason they treat you so bad because that's what's on the inside of them. Hey, anointed, how are you? Good evening. She said him and his new supplies always following, stalking me, riding past my job, my house. She said, and a lot of times, she sometimes even they will pop up in places that I be at. You know what? Think about it now. If a narcissist is stalking you, she's popping up in places that you at. She has you on her mind all the time. She's not free. She's a shadow walker. The shadow walker is when another woman lives in your shadow. She don't have her own life. Why? Because she lived by fear. She's so afraid that you're going to get the narcissist back. And what the narcissist is doing with the old supply, the narcissist intimidate the new supply with the old supply, and the narcissist will tell that new supply that you're obsessed with them and make the new supply feel that they always have to stay on edge because you're doing trick moves to try to get them back. And then the narcissist will play the mind game with them like they don't want to come back. And the whole time you're glad to get out of the relationship. You're not even thinking about getting back in the relationship. But the new supply don't know that. So now the new supply has become a flying monkey and following you, stalking you. Why? Because the narcissist is feeding her concerning you to keep her locked into his grip. Because he's afraid that he don't have her like he had you. Well, I tell you, that's something, isn't it? And Chris said, could your mother be a shadow woman? She said, I feel my own mother slightly envious of me. She said, this is what Chris said, this is what friends and family have observed. Wow, that's really deep. Absolutely. She said, I'm minding my own business over 2 hours away. That's a shadow walker. She said, my ex-new girlfriend actually sent me a Facebook friend request. You don't have to respond to that. You don't have to respond to that. Block them. Because what he does with his new supply is none of your business. You don't want to know about it. You don't want to be involved in it because what that's going to do is relapse your memory. Instead of your memory heal, it replays the old video and the old reel over and over. And all of the damage that was done in the memory bank don't have an opportunity to heal because you keep going back to that painful place. So just block her because you're not concerned about what they are doing now. You're moving on with your life. You're gathering yourself. You're returning yourself back beyond where you were before you met the narcissist to make sure that any other frequency, vibration such as what you left ever pop up, you will be aware of that. And you will not yield, you will not bend, and you will not succumb to that because that can get into your subconscious. And remember, Dreams is coming from your subconscious, and a lot of times that come from your thought processes. So when you start thinking about the narcissist, you start thinking about the narcissist and the supply that he has. Your mind will go back into the real, and if you don't watch it, old emotions will start to trigger. And a lot of times in the memory, the old emotions don't come up of what he did to make you leave. You'll start thinking about the good things that made you like him, care for her, or made you stay. And then for the young individuals talking about their parents, when you have a narcissistic parent, of course they're jealous. A narcissist is a narcissist, whether they're a parent, whether they're a friend, or whether they're an enemy. The traits are still the same. And it's most unfortunate. Anointed said, what is meant by shadow walker? Do you have a video on that? You know what? No, but I'm going to do a video on that. The shadow walker is when a new supply comes on the scene, but the new supply is walking in the shadow of the old supply. So they're following you on Facebook. They're finding anything they can about you. They're looking through the narcissist's phone. They look through his wallet. They look through his portfolio. They look through any kind of photo album, trying to find anything that the narcissists like about you. And then they try to become that, because they are always afraid, because it's doing the serial cheating. They're always afraid that the narcissist is going to leave. So they walk in the shadow of the former supply. And so they never learn who they are. And they don't realize not only are they losing themselves with the narcissist, but they're losing themselves to presumption, because they don't know who you are. They don't know what happened. And they are not going to get the truth. It's a one-sided version. And so they always walk in your shadow. They never come into substance, because they're too busy running after you. Like she said, they were stalking her, driving by her house. Look at all of that energy instead of building relationship. Paige and Nurse said she even invited me to a sleepover at her house on Christmas. Who would go to that? Who would even trust that? Good. Yeah, you blocked them. You did well. That's a shadow walker. And what she is, she's living in your shadow. And what she's trying to do, she's trying to become everything that you are, because she thinks that's what the narcissists want. And so in her mind, the narcissist want you back. In her mind, she'll never live up to who you are. In her mind, you're better than she is. And see, one thing about an enemy will build such an image that they will never ascertain that image. They will never grow into what they build. And they make you this glamorous superstar. They take all of your faults, all of your failures, and they put you so high until they'll never meet the standard. It's like a martyr. No one can ever live up to a martyr, because the martyr never exists anymore, because they're gone. And so the changes that you make to the martyr's image is what you bring into the picture, not who they are. And that's what that shadow walker is. She's bringing to the picture what she think you are. And guess what? You're going to always be better than her. You're going to always be stronger than her. You're going to always be prettier than her. You're going to always have access. And you wonder where she get all this information. She's getting it from her mind. A shadow walker would build you to celebrity status. Hello there, God's child. How are you? She said, she said, I always rate your knowledge. She said, you are a great, beautiful queen. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And Paige and Nurse said, that was my mother who invited me Christmas and keep asking me for lunch. And keep asking me for lunch. Oh, Lord. You know what? It's unfortunate when you have a family member that is a narcissist, because that family member is channel energy. It's draining energy. They would drain your energy, and it's hard, because it's hard to think that you have a family member. They have to love me. They have to care for me, but they don't. A narcissist is totally occupied with themselves. They're totally absorbed with themselves. They observe everything that's going to build them because they got these gaping holes on the inside of them. And these holes are unfulfilled. And they don't want you fulfilled. They don't want you happy. They don't want you advancing because your advancement tells truth about their diminishing effect on the inside. All of these gaping holes, all of these voids. And so don't worry about shadow walkers. The new supply is always filled with the former supply because the narcissist is never going to let them live it down. Never, ever. The narcissist going to always make you look like a hero to the new supply, and you will never ever qualify for the narcissist standard. And a lot of times the narcissists do that because they're planning a Hoover, and they want you channeled in when the Hoover comes. Chris Harris says, he said, got a new couch 2020, or you probably said, coach. She said, my mother asked me how much it was for a similar couch. Couch 2 years ago. Wow. And God's child said, it's worse when it's a family. It hurts the most, of course. But that's the way the enemy plays. Who can get to you worse than a friend or a family? So if you really want to get somebody, get a family member, get a friend. And that way you can take that file or that screwdriver or that pain or that trauma and drive it deep in the middle of their heart. Because where do you go? You look for your family support, you look for your friend support, and guess what? They are the one that hurts you the most. And that's unfortunate. Anointed said, I've been ignoring him and them. She said, I do and don't see them. She said, I never knew a person can be sick, both of them, and it's really sad. Absolutely. But you know what, Anointed, what is so terrible is they're living their life in your shadow. Isn't that something? You moved on and they can't. Were you discarded or did you escape? Were you discarded or did you escape? Which one did you do? Were you discarded or did you escape? When you were discarded, they thought that you will wait because sometimes it's a pattern. And the pattern is to leave and come back, leave and come back. Trauma bond is to traumatize you, then bond to you. Traumatize you and bond to you. And what that does, they send confusion to your emotions where you are set up to open up. And you didn't know that when every time you received them and they left, it was trauma bonding you to them, not away from them. And so every time you forgave them, I know this the 50th time, that was a trauma bond. It was going deeper. Their grip was going deeper. So each time that you let them back, gave them another time to flow out and come back. And each time you made a stand that made them think, wait a minute, I got to get another plan. I have to get another strategy because it's not working. So the mind game is to bring you into a constant place where you open up, you let them go, you let them back in, you let them go, you let them back in. That is the trauma bond. She's wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much. This is Danielle, my moderator. Thank you so much for being here. She said you were meant to be here. Thank you for all of your sharing. Oh, I love that girl. She is awesome. She said I was discarded, saw my chances and ran. Good girl. Paging nurse, that was a smart thing. So you didn't escape. You were discarded. And look at the power of this. They discarded you to come back. They did not discard you to leave. And when they left and got new supply, you were gone. The main primal supply, gone. Primary supply is not easy supply to make. Why? Because they don't won your confidence. You don't went through the love bombing. You don't went through the ideation. You went through the devaluation. You don't went through where they discarded you. You come back in, they hoover you, you come back in. You done went through all of those things, and then you may have had a family with them. So all of that is a lot of investment. And remember, the narcissists hate to lose. The narcissist discarded sometime with the intent of hoovering back in, especially when you're the primal supply. You are the primary supply. You're the dominant factor. You're the home base. You're the beacon that always bring them back to their fetal position. And so they hate to get rid of that dominant force, because that's packing energy and that's packing fuel. And as long as you're packing fuel, that narcissist, that beacon drives them back. And so now with the new supply, he have to break her in, he have to train her, he have to break her down, he have to do all of this all over again, which is also taking energy from the narcissist. It's not just taking energy from you. The narcissists themselves are losing energy. It takes energy to train a supply. And a primary supply has already been modeled, broke in, and shaped. So that was a great, tremendous loss for the narcissist. Chris said, I went to court. I went no contact from my mother. He said, my own siblings for 7 months, and I was harassed via text. He said they even tried to stalk me, stalk my best friend. You know, Chris, that's unfortunate, but a narcissist is a piece of work. And now you see why sometimes we tell you, you can't stay in something that is dysfunctional and non-workable. If you stay in something, you want the process to work. You want it to be able to survive and revive, rebuild, rejuvenate. You want it to be able to be restored. A narcissist relationship can rebuild. It can be restored if they don't want it to be rebuilt. They don't want it to be restored. In order to recognize change, you have to have a perspective, an internal perspective. Look on the inside of you and know there has to be something change in this situation in order to better this situation. The narcissist doesn't see where they need to change because they cast the blame. They see where you need to change. So the mind game is in all the gaslighting. They play with your mind so you won't know reality from a non-reality. Why? Because you start to question yourself. You start to be unsure of yourself. And what they're doing now, stalking is supposed to impel fear inside of you, make you afraid, make you doubtful, take away your security because you're constantly being stalked. And so now you're afraid that now danger may come, or they may harm you, that they may hurt you. And a lot of times when you go into the higher mid narcissist, to the ultra or the greater narcissist, they know what they're doing. This strategy is intentional. It's not something that they don't know. It's something that they're intentional. They're purposefully doing this, and this strategy. She said, I'm 40, single, and have no children. She said, I do not know what the Lord have planned for me. She said, but I respect it and will still and be still. She said, better to be still with the Lord than loose and caught up in mess. I agree with you. Hey, Sherry-Ann, how are you? Thank you so much. And she said, so true, Paige. Absolutely. But see, this experience can grow you. This experience, when you meet somebody and it's too good to be true, sometimes you have to challenge that. You have to challenge it. You know, I'm just now meeting you, and I feel like I've been knowing you for years. It's not like a chemistry match. It's a phenomenon that is beyond a chemistry match. It's almost like a perfect match that nothing can go wrong, and it almost seems abnormal. Hey, how are you, Sherry? And thank you for joining me on today. I'm so glad that you are here. We are having an awesome conversation, and we are dealing with the mind games that narcissists play. And we done brought out a few in this live on this morning. Because a narcissist, they play mind games. They don't stop. And especially when you have a child. That's why narcissists, the one thing they want, two things they want to do, three things they want to do. They want to move in, they want to get married, and they want you pregnant. They want to move in, they want to marry, and they want you pregnant. Why? Because all three of them hold significant obligations. Why? Because if they move in, they got a place to stay, and it's hard to get them out. If they marry you, there's an obligation to the marriage, and you co-join, especially in the community state. And if you have children, well, that's 18 years. So you just can't cast them out or throw them out. Why? Because they have children and they have rights as a parent. So those are three things that the narcissist immediately want to hook you up with. Because the narcissist feel like once you are with them, you are their property. And that's why they treat you like property. They crush your emotions without any fallout. They crush your mind. They can see you cry. And the more you cry, it's almost like it pleases them to see the tears fall from your eyes. And then they word salad you. You talk to you all night, knowing that you have to get up at 5 o'clock. And then they will talk to you until 4:45, knowing that in 15 minutes you would have been up anyway. So now you up all night. You have to jump in the shower and go to work. And then the narcissists call you all day. Why? Because they want you in the burnout zone. Because when you go to the burnout zone, you can't think properly. You can't move properly. You are too tired. So the mind game is to burn you out, to make you so frustrated, to make you so angry until you can't hardly think. And without sleep, a lot of times you can't. And they will spend days keeping you awake. Hey, Fifi, how are you? Thank you for joining us on today. They will keep you awake because the narcissists have a restless spirit. Have you noticed that they don't need a lot of sleep? You need 8 hours, they get 2 hours and they rolling. Why? Because they are restless. That vagabond spirit, that vagabond intent, that vagabond assertion that is with them. And there's something they're always doing to hurt. There's something they're always doing to damage. There's something that they're always doing to devalue you. And your devaluation is fuel for them. It's energy for them. It's power for them because a narcissist won't control. And they want control of your will, of your mind, of your character. They want total control. And they want you out of control. Okay. She said, this is a type of abuse. Of course. Psychological abuse. Equal Love, how are you? Thank you for joining us on today. She said, I have PCOS. She said, and reproductively challenged. She said, now I see it was a blessing. Or I could, yeah, you could have been tied to them. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's 18 years. It's 18 years. And that's just like Veronica said. You know, he got him a narcissistic lawyer and a judge that was ignorant of the narcissist and turned her child over to a narcissist who don't even care. And the child now has to go through all of that with the narcissist who's the dad. And the dad may not be a fit dad just because he has more money. But we're going to believe God to turn that around. That there would be another day in court where it would be to your advantage, Veronica. That's what we're going to believe God for. Wow, you all are very versatile today. She said, I was married for 21 years. Whoa. To a narcissist, Sherian? That's a long time. Yeah, that's a long time to be married to a narcissist. Think about this. Categorically, when you are with a narcissist for 3 months, it takes sometime, as an average, 2 years for 3 months living with a narcissist or married to a narcissist. That means y'all have had constant contact with each other, and you've been with them on a constant basis, very intricately or intimately involved with that narcissist. 3 months, 3 to 6 months, and it takes 2 years of therapy just to get into the core essence of restoring you mentally, emotionally, socially, based on the premises and the type of narcissist that you're with. If you're with a malignant narcissist, it can even take more time. It can take a trauma therapist, not just a regular therapist, because sometimes you can be with a life coach, but it's deeper than a life coach. And some of you that may be with a life coach, your situation may actually call for a certified therapist. And don't feel bad if you have to go to a certified therapist or a trauma therapist. Psychology Today have some therapists that may be able to help you, trauma therapists and different kind of programs that can assist you. One of the best, and she's in the state of Washington though, and that is Dr. Carmen Bryant, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Very awesome, and I know her personally. Very awesome. So you can write her, and she can even loan some recommendations for you. And Paige Nurse said, being with them is like prison sentence. Oh, I know it is. She's a great point, Miss Helen. Thank you, Irene. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us also on tonight. Boy, I mean, you all are very vocal. I really like the things that you're saying. I really like what you're noticing and the detail that you're bringing out. Yes. And Anointed says, thank you, Helen. She said, I was asleep. She said, and woke up to this. She said, I knew it was a mind game. Yep, and he was playing. She said, but I couldn't make out what it was, what he was trying to do. She said, your videos have helped me out of the things that I'm going through. I am so happy. I am so happy that it helps you. We're in your corner because we know what it takes. See, people who have regular relationship have no idea what it takes to have a narcissist, and you living with a narcissist, and the penetration of their behavior on the brain, on your emotions, on your mind, your thought, even on your imagination. Your imagination take that experience and put it in a real zone. And this real plays over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And that's why those of you that are Christians, the Bible tells us to transform our minds. And then you can get positive affirmation, get books that talk about the strength of the mind, talk about how you build your mind, talk about how you strengthen your character, talk about different things that you want to do, different things that you want to be, things that you dream of doing, things that you wanted to do. There's no reason you can't do that. Don't let anyone stop a dream. Once you get away from the narcissist, whether you were discarded or whether you escape, you are now free. Let's use your freedom. Let's build you up. Let's branch you out and expand you. Because with the narcissist, the world gets smaller. So he take away your ecosystem. See, an echo needs space so it can sound bounces off and come back to you. Well, when your space is too small, there's nowhere for the echo to bounce. So you even stop hearing your own voice because your echo is your voice. And the narcissist want to even take away your echo. So the trickery is to get your mind so enclosed until you close your world out. And you don't even have an ecosystem. So your voice become little and little, and their voice become more powerful. Paige and Nurse also feel like they are often down low. She said, and they also often try to talk you back in the back door type sex, even when they tell you they don't care for boundaries at all. They're going to do whatever it takes. And sometimes they'll tell off on their lifestyle. She said, God tell us not to go off on our own understanding. She said our minds can play tricks on us, and God would always put us back on the right track. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why the word has to be a strength. The word has to be a guard. It has to be a gate. It has to be the foundational basis where the premises of every thought that you have, the premises of your perception and conception in life come from the foundational basis of the word. You know, as Christian, that's a big word. There's a reason why we call ourselves believers. And the enemy will love to trap all of that power and cage all of that power. Like she said, it's like being in a prison. That's exactly a good description. And Irene said most narcissists will sleep with anyone, male or female. Absolutely. They are opportunists. And any opportunity is an open door for them because they are soul trappers. They trap souls. They imprison souls. They are dream killers, dream stealers. And see, because your dream is in your soul, they go into your soul after your dream. Any hope you have, any dream you have, the narcissist want it. Why? Because they are empty. And you can feel, you can experience life to the full. The one thing that they are not capable of. She said, I've already been with one. She said, and that was on the down low. Ooh, Irene said she already been one that was on the down low. She said, would you believe he had the nerve to do things and then actually quote the Bible? Oh, yeah, we believe it. She said, I was in a coma for a month. Ooh, Sharon. Wow, what happened? Do you want to talk about that? What happened when you was in a coma for a month? That is really, really something. And see, you got and and the narcissist caring? No, they're not going to be there. They're not going to be there to care. She said, sorry to hear that, Sharian. Yeah, me too. He beat me. Oh my God. Sharian, I am doing a program on the 15th. It's on a Wednesday at 7 p.m. And I'm going to be on Clubhouse on the 15th at 7 p.m. on Clubhouse. Go under Helen Sadler, your Destiny Helper, and join us on Clubhouse the 15th of June at 7 p.m. I'm going to have Bridget Griffin, who is a domestic violence advocate. And the title of the room would be The Beatings Must Stop. I would love for you to join me. I am so glad that you're free. I am so glad that God kept you. I'm so glad that you got out and you got out with your life, because there are some people, they didn't make it out. Not with their life. They didn't make it at all. So we are that happy for you. Sharon said, I would join you. Thank you, Sharon. I'm going to look for you. Hey, is that Zingbio? Hopefully I'm saying that right. Hey, Jonay, how are you? Thank you so much. How do you join Clubhouse? Just go on your Apple or whatever room that has on your phone and download it. Download Clubhouse. She said, I am thankful she recovered from the coma. I am so grateful. I am so grateful. That was so horrific that you had to experience something like that. The Bible says you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are a wonderful queen, and you've been made for the best of things, not the worst of things. But what a testament you have, what a testimony you have. And I'm telling you, you can help so many people with everything that you've been through. Your pain now will be your gain. Hey, Jode. She said, my ex tried to kill me with a flat head screwdriver. I literally jumped out of the car, scratched up my heel, lost my glasses, but kept my life. Praise Yahweh. Ooh. Now you see what I mean? You see the games that the narcissists play? See, that is a malignant narcissist. And then there are psychopathic narcissists, covert narcissists, somatic narcissists, autistic narcissists. that all of these different grades of narcissists, and based on the time is the depth of their operation, their age. As they grow older, they go deeper into the narcissism. As they grow older, they get worse, not better, because they get better at being who they are. And they get better at manipulating self blame. They get better at debilitating strong people, because a narcissist is a stripper of your emotion, a stripper of your advancement, a stripper of your promotion. This is what they do. They will strip you away from your family, and the things that you care about, they don't care about. That's what they want. They want what you love. They want what you cherish. Just like he got the baby. And you know what? You think he want that child? It's the parents probably have them. Irene says, I am so glad I'm single now. She said, I no longer have uh, to be harmed by the narcissist any longer. She said, oh, Miss Helen, my ex down low narcissist was an older man. Oh my God. I can imagine you had an older narcissist plus a perverted narcissist. And Babu says, being around old narcissists is the worst. She said, a pack of mean old people is awful. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anybody that's been around an old narcissist knows that and then as they get older, because they can't do it like they used to. So they are limited, and that limited ability makes them more angrier. It makes them really, just drill deep into who they are. They become less caring. They became more obstructive. Why? And destructive, because they don't have nothing to lose. And they're afraid of dying. And guess what? More than anything, the old narcissist is afraid of being alone, because they can't get the supply like they used to. Why? Because they're older. So they are fearful, and they are laden with that fear. And that fear turns to anger, it turns to hate, it turns to destructive behavior. So you can imagine what an older narcissist is like. Paige Nurse at one time, he made me take a pregnancy test before he beat me because I wanted to go to school, and he knew I was trying to get away. So he slapped me around and threw me down all day. That's terrible. That's horrible. I'm so glad that you realize the value of who you are. Irene's ministry said he also was addicted to porn. She said, you helped me. You have teach me about the older narcissist from one of your other videos. I am so happy I did that video just for you, Irene. And Paige and Nurse said, I was finally able to change my life. And then he went to prison. Oh, wow. I'm applauding you. She said they're looking at hell in the face and seeing who they can take with them. Absolutely. Sherry-Ann says, I left him so many times, but I never knew the history of the narcissist. You know, it's really something. The history of the narcissist and how it came about was a young man was at war. And in the war, he decided to take a break. And he looked in the water and saw his reflection and fell in love with himself. And he refused to leave, so he stayed there and he died there because he could not pull himself away from himself. And this white flower grew, and they call that white flower the narcissist. And why they call that white flower the narcissist? Because white represents purity. So if you're going to hide anything, you have to take it to the highest level of reverence and the highest level of appreciation. Purity, innocence, beauty. All because he could not move away from his reflection. If the narcissist is willing to die because he can't move away from his reflection, then you know that your reflection has no value. And you have to assess the years of your life, how you want them spent, what you want to do with them. Because the narcissist will make sure that you occupy enough time to waste those years. And they will keep you long enough where they feel like you cannot render any kind of restoration to those years. And you can always bounce back. You can always come back. You can always. I am so glad for Irene, Sherian, Paige, and Nurse, and those of you that are on this site. I am so happy for it. Uh, we have 15 minutes left. She said, "You taught me so much." Sherian, I am so happy. I wish I was there to hug everybody that was on tonight. She said, "It seemed as if he has gone berserk." Probably have. She said, "And I used to be the secondary supply." She said, "After being there for 10 years, I became the main supply for 3 years." She said, "After the first year, it was a mental hell." Oh, I can imagine. And see, if you was the secondary supply, the primary supply was overthrown by you. And once he overthrew the primary supply, you became the primary supply. So whatever she went through, guess what you went through? Everything she went through, except you probably wasn't in it as long as she was. And so now you're the primary, and they did serial cheating, so they went and got another secondary. The narcissist always needs supply. And when you get angry and shut down and gray rock, the narcissist can't get fuel. And they're like vampires. Vampires need blood to live. They need fuel to live. They can't live without fuel. You are their walking food. You are their walking fuse. You're the gas in their tank. You're the energy that makes them run. You want to know how important you are? When you shut down, they go out. When you say no, they have to get someone to say yes. Because when you're the primary, a lot of time the narcissists don't want to get rid of the primary, because to get rid of the primary supply means the narcissist was weak and couldn't hold the precedence. And so they have to take up secondary and bump them up to primary, because a narcissist always have to have a primary supply. And they will work hard to make sure they lock in that primary supply. Now remember, all supply take energy. All supply take energy. Even chef supply, they just don't take much energy. And they don't see them maybe every 3 months, every 6 months. But all supply take energy. And the husband, the ex-husband, and the girlfriend supply that's stalking, that's a lot of energy. So guess who's being tormented? Not you that they're stalking. The person, the supply that's stalking with the narcissist is being tormented. Why? Because she has to compensate for the energy he's using to stalk you. Isn't that something? Now that's a piece of work. She said, "Thank you so much, Helen." Oh, okay. She said, "For your lessons and love." She said, "May peace of the Lord continue to be with you." Thank you, Paige and Nurse. Giving you hugs and kisses. Thank you so much. Thank you, Helen. This is Sherian. Anointed said, "My God, all of that." Yeah, all of that. Don't ever think you're not valuable, because you are. You're very, very valuable. The narcissist may make you think that you're not, but you are. Hey, my time is up. I've been on here an hour. That went by so quick, didn't it? But I'm coming back. I'm coming back. And those of you, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you access all of my videos, like and share them. Help someone else out. Like, you were very vocal to me, and you were very detailing your comments. Thank you so much. I so appreciate you, and I value your time. Now, you know I'm going to Hawaii August 11th through the 16th. We're flying back home on the 16th, and we're going to have a tremendous time. I would love for you to join me in Hawaii. Tell your story. Someone needs to hear it. They need to hear how you came out. Oh man, in a coma for being beaten, and now you are on this site and you are able to tell about it. Ooh, applaud you, girl. You are what mastery indicates. Thank you so much for being here. But go on into his chambers, look on the event tab. All of the information is right there for you. And those of you who think it's expensive because we're going to Hawaii, we will help you plan some payment plans to get you there. We got 2.5 months. Let's make it work. And if you want us to help you, my business development team will help you strategize, and we will get you to Honolulu, Hawaii, on the island of Oahu. And I'm telling you, I am looking forward to seeing you. I want you to look up for the video. I'm going to do the shadow walking, as Chris said. I'm going to do a video, and it's going to be the shadow walker. I want you to join me in that video. Like and share that video. Make sure you already subscribe. Go on Into His Chambers on Facebook. Look on the event tab and see all the details for Hawaii. I love you to life. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you. And I want you to join me on the next video. Thank you so much, Danielle, for being with me and all of my YouTube family. I love you to life. I'll see you on the next video. Remember to write me at destinyhelper12s@gmail.com. Love you to life. See you on the next video. And I want you all to know that you are very valuable. And there's no one like you. You are so unique. That's why God gave you your own fingerprint. And that fingerprint is just like your life. There's nobody, no matter how many supplies they get, that will never, ever be another you. God bless you. I'll see you on the next video. Love you, everyone. Bye-bye now.